Today, we're asking that age-old question, why? We know when we were younger in elementary and even at home, we kept on asking why. Somehow along the way, we got programmed no longer to ask why. But we're about to change that. We're finding our why. Joining me today to talk about the topic is Sterling Mark. He is an AVID alumni and Chief Empowerment Officer for Sterling Empowerment. Sterling, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Now we've gotten to know each other a little bit in our interchange as an avid alumni, but let's have our subscribers just learn a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your avid alumni journey and some of the few detours that you took as an alumni.
Yes, sure. My Avid journey was definitely very pivotal in shaping the path I'm on today. Growing up, I didn't have the clearest picture of what I wanted my future to look like, but through Avid, I was able to see that there were many possibilities beyond my circumstances. It was Avid that gave me that sense of purpose and the tools I needed to navigate at the high school and collegiate level. And so I definitely want to give a huge shout out to my Avid teachers and mentors that really helped me see the bigger picture. For me, I had the opportunity to build a network of like-minded peers and professionals, and it really showed me that hard work and mentorship really could turn dreams into bigger actions.
And I see from your experiences, you in getting your sense of purpose, and in your sense of purpose, having that bigger picture of life helped inform your why. What is your why, and what drives you at that core belief, that purpose that has shaped your career?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, my why is rooted in empowerment. As someone who come from humble beginnings and faced numerous obstacles, I feel very strongly about helping others, especially young people, break through those same barriers. What drives me is really the belief that everyone deserves access to education, mentorship, and the opportunity to achieve their potential. My purpose is to help students and professionals realize their power while equipping them with the tools to navigate challenges, whether that's through financial literacy, social and emotional learning, or college or career readiness.
Yeah, and we do the social and academic support in AVID, as you talked about it in your AVID journey, as you matriculated through AVID and got to know some of their skill set to see the big picture and plan. I like how you said your why is rooted in empowerment. Similar to mine, my why, in similar words yet different, is as an educator, I want to help everybody that looks like me, everybody that looks very different than me, and everyone in between to reach their fullest potential. And that's where you talk about access to the tools so that everybody is prepared when they make a choice with the tools they need for their next journey in life because they've chosen their passion and identified their why. So let's work backwards. Backwards. What do you mean when you find, or what does it mean when you find your why when looking in a career?
I believe that finding your why, it means like in a career, aligning your work with what truly matters to you. For me, it wasn't just about having a job or making a paycheck. It was about using my skills and experiences to serve a greater purpose. Once you identify, what you truly care about, you can design a career that reflects that. And for me, my journey started with realizing that my passion for helping others could be translated into a career of empowering students and professionals.
Got it. And tell me a little bit, Sterling, can your why change over time?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Your why can definitely evolve over time. So like as we grow and experience new things, our passions and our perspectives, they shift. And I've seen my why shift from just surviving to thriving and then now to helping others navigate their own paths to success. I truly believe that the key is to stay reflective and open to change. And when your why evolves, it's important to adjust your actions accordingly while staying true to your core values. So, long story short, it's really all about growth.
And growth mindset, which you and I know is one of the cornerstones of both AVID and the professionals that work with AVID. When students are with educators that have a growth mindset, means all students have the possibility to succeed, and we increase that probability for success by preparing them access to all career and college tools. Now, help me understand, Sterling, a little bit about how my why can help with job satisfaction and long-term success.
Yeah, so for me, like once you identify like your why, it's really about taking small intentional steps towards aligning your daily work with that purpose. And so for example, like if you're passionate about mentorship, seeking out roles or projects that allow you to mentor others or integrate mentorship like into your current job. So like if your why is also about creativity, you want to look for opportunities to express that in your work. So aligning your career with your why, it often starts with making small adjustments, but it can lead to big transformations.
And finding your why, as we all know, is popularized by Simon Sinek, and and how great leaders inspire action. It's not easy. So, Sterling, how can young professionals start to locate and identify their why?
I think for young professionals, I would recommend taking the time to reflect on what excites you, what challenges you, and what impact you truly want to make. Start thinking about what comes naturally to you and what makes you feel alive. I truly also believe that, suggest that they should journal, speak to mentors, and really just explore different experiences to see what resonates with them most. Discovering your why is truly a journey that's going to require self-awareness and the willingness to explore. So sometimes they just got to get out of that box. And so I know it's hard for some of the youth, but they have to have that willingness to explore.
And metacognition, and therefore self exploration, thinking about what I'm thinking, is important for a young career professional, or as we talked even about the evolution of a veteran, and as your why grows and evolves. And I like what you've said it already two or three times, which it needs to start with the self. Before you can help others, you need to help yourself to find your passion, your drive, your core beliefs, your why, so that then you can expand and scale the impact you're gonna have in any profession. Are there any exercises for self-reflection? You talked, 1, about journaling, you talked 2, about getting feedback possibly from your mentors. Are there any other techniques you recommend for exploration and landing in my why?
Yes, definitely. One technique that I love to use is the 5 whys method. And that's where you just keep asking yourself why until you get to the root cause of what drives you. Another powerful exercise is to and this is gonna may sound crazy, but to write your own eulogy. Like really think about what you want people to say about you and your legacy. Like this will give you insight into what really matters to you. And I also recommend taking some time to think about the moments when you felt fulfilled and what you were doing in those moments. That could really, bring about that why and help you feel more comfortable in making that that leap of faith.
Sterling, I'm sure a lot of subscribers, including myself as a listener right now, you lost me at writing my own eulogy, but you found me when you said, "What is gonna be your legacy?" So when we think about that, that's a really good way of changing, death. Scary for a lot of us, but it's
Yeah.
inevitable. But you change it to legacy. So what is your legacy? And as you journal about that and think about that, you might find your why. Now, I'm not gonna let you go because you mentioned these 5 whys. What are the 5 whys?
I mean, for me, it's I like you figure out, okay, why are you doing what is it you want to do, and then it's like, okay, why is it that I want to do that? Why is this impacting me, or why does this make me feel the way that I feel? And why do I feel like, so it's just it's a series of questions. There's actually worksheets online that I can share, but it's just a series of really just getting to that root cause. Because once you get to that root cause, you may identify something even bigger that you didn't know was inside of you. So it's just really digging deep into your interpersonal self to discover some things about yourself on why you do the things you do and why you feel the way you feel. So it's a very great exercise.
I love it because you're talking about the curiosity when we have it as a child, just like we started the podcast today, is it's like a funnel, right? It starts with the big general why, or in Avid, we call it an essential question. And you keep on narrowing until you're stuck, which means what's my point of confusion? When you solve your point of confusion in your self discovery into what your passion, your core values, your why, then that's what you're trying to get at by keeping asking the very different layered whys down. Now, Sterling, what are some influences in your why in addition to your self-reflection? I mean, can career, can family, what else can affect how you shape your why? And are you glued and locked down to it? Or can you be a trailblazer and move forward and shape a different why?
Well, I feel like, external factors really definitely play a role, especially like early in our career. So, like family expectations, societal pressures, financial stability are all, valid concerns. However, balancing these with personal fulfillment requires intentionality. And for me, I encourage people to set boundaries and prioritize what truly matters to them, even while being mindful of their external responsibilities. So you don't have to choose between the two. Finding the balance means making the choices that allow you to live authentically while meeting those needs.
I like the word you use, intentionality. Especially when I'm in career, and I'm trying to actualize and live my why and trying to find that balance. Sometimes you're gonna have to say no to some things, and sometimes in a positive way, you're gonna have to do more. What advice do you have for especially those early career professionals who find conflict in where they are day to day that amounts to most of my time at work is in conflict with my why? What advice do you have for those career professionals?
Well, I'll say, first, recognize that feeling stuck is a sign that something needs to change. If your current job doesn't align with your purpose, start by identifying the gaps. Truly, ask yourself, what do you need more of, whether it's autonomy, creativity, or making an impact? Then you will need to take small steps to realign your work with your why, even if that means starting a side project or pursuing new opportunities. You really just can't be afraid to pivot, and it's never too late to course correct, so you just have to have that understanding.
And that understanding, as you know, and you've talked to me about it, can prevent things from workplace burnout, and we can avoid that lack of motivation. And we're always going to have some bad days, but you want to spend where you spend most of your waking hours during your work week. If you have a normal Monday through Friday job, our waking hours are spent at our job. So going back to what you said is find your why, make sure you have that motivation. And if you're stuck, it's time to reflect and start to think, what's my runway? What's my off ramp off so that I can back into the expressway of life and have that work life balance? That's what I want to lead your next question. How does finding your why and having that why at work help with your personal life and establishing a work life balance?
I believe that understanding your why provides you with a source of intrinsic motivation that can really help you push through the tough days. You know, it reminds you of the bigger picture and why your work really matters. Like when you feel connected to your why, it's so much easier to stay motivated and avoid burnout because you're doing something that feels meaningful even when the tasks get tough, right? So it's just something that I truly believe that if you are, you know, on your path, your why path, you know, it just keeps you motivated and inspired to know that you have a vision for who it is you're becoming and the impact that you're making, and you see yourself building that legacy that you foresee.
And you're not alone because you talked about your use of mentors. So, can you share an example or a story of how professionals and mentors help find, rethink, revise, and shape your why?
Definitely. I've had, you know, several mentors who have helped me shape my why. One example is a mentor who always reminded me of the importance of using my voice to advocate for others. She lived her why through her work with marginalized communities, and seeing her passion in action really inspired me to do the same. You know, it's really powerful to see someone living in alignment with their purpose, and it's really contagious, and it gives you permission to do the same. So I just truly believe that, you know, mentors can really shape you, but not just that. You know, you can also learn from their previous experiences and failures, and that's one of the things that I share with my mentees. And I share with them all my failures so that they don't have to make those same mistakes.
Yeah. Earlier, you should give a shout out to your AVID elective teachers. I didn't miss what you just said. I'm going to give a shout out to you. You said, I have mentors, but I'm getting back. I am a mentee. And I like the way you talk about you leverage your why because it shapes your beliefs and thoughts, and then it then drives your actions. Really good connection. Sterling, as we're looking to the end of this podcast, what's the biggest advice you have for someone early in their career, still searching for their purpose or why?
My biggest piece of advice would be to be patient but stay curious. Your why doesn't always show up overnight, and that's okay. You know, take time to explore different paths, be sure to ask questions, and reflect on what brings you joy and fulfillment. Don't be pressured to have it all figured out right away. Your purpose will unfold as you continue to grow. So just understand that success is not a destination, it's a journey.
Wow. Be patient. I am one of the most impatient people you can find, but I like what you just said. It's going to take some time and it'll might even come quicker than you know it, but you still got to put in the work. You've talked and give us advice about reflection, self-reflection, connecting with others, having some resources, asking that 5 level why to make sure that we get to what is our why that drives our actions, beliefs in our careers, and also in our home. I also like what you said about finding your joy, and you're leading us with being with inquiry. In a previous podcast, I said, stay curious because that's your edge. And that's what you told us. Lead with inquiry and stay curious. Sterling, I really want to thank you for sharing advice and learnings on self reflections and how it connects to our why, our core beliefs, causes, and purpose that will bring us joy, not just in in our career, but in college and life. I'd love to end with Simon Sinek quote we talked about earlier. Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Your whole conversation, Sterling, today and your advice was about finding your why, finding your joy. In other words, what are you passionate about? Let that come through in your daily actions at home as a mentor with your mentors, as a mentee, and in your career. And when you feel stuck, you're not alone. Go back to your tools, reflect. You can later connect onto what you're going to do day to day, in fact, your career and your ongoing legacy you're going to leave, not eulogy. Um, Finding your why isn't just about having a job. It's about building a career that energizes you and sometimes drains you because you've given your all. It may take time, as Sterling has talked about, reflection, and even trial and error. You're going to make mistakes. But when you align your work with your purpose, you're just not clocking it in, your time card, you're creating impact, fulfillment, and longevity in your career, leaving a legacy. So take your time to explore, be curious, as Sterling said, ask yourself tough questions, and don't be afraid of changes along the way. Your why is out there. Go find it. That's our time today for Avidly Adult. Subscribers, be good today, 'cause that's enough. But together, let's try to be great tomorrow.